Love them or hate them, AliExpress watches offer a lot of value, really cool designs, and very affordable prices, oftentimes in the $50 to $100 price range. Today we're going to look at my personal AliExpress watch collection, which consists of 8 different styles. The first watch is the San Martin SN0008. What led me to get this watch was purely curiosity. I purchased the watch a couple years ago, and in many ways, it was the gateway watch into the world of AliExpress watches. I think this happens to a lot of people. Once you get the first, it's tough to resist a second, and then a third. All the positive things I would hear and read about San Martin is true. Their watches are really well made. The polishing is spot on. The sapphire crystal has a little dome to it. The biggest detail I like about the watch is how all of the lume matches. From the hour markers to the hands and lume pip at the 12 o'clock, it's all the same. Sometimes watches will have slightly varying color since they use different parts and it doesn't end up matching perfectly. Maybe this is my OCD, but it's a noticeable difference. Next up is a watch that's a newer acquisition for me, and it's my first watch I've ever had with the sub-second sub-dial, the Merker Crossline sector dial. One of the things that brings so many customers to buy AliExpress watches are the prices. A lot of them are around $50 to $100, which makes it very accessible and easier to give them a try. I've been making it a point to try all the different popular brands, and Merkur was one I'm really pleased with. This particular model has a really nice classy design, and the little details help keep it a bit casual. The hands are blue, the 12 o'clock hour marker is applied, and there's also some circular brushing on the outer circle of the dial. There's something really cool about the design of the bezel. There's basically 3 levels, and then it meets the crystal, and it really helps break up the watch so it doesn't just look like one chunk of metal. The crystal is a top hat style and creates a little bit of a distortion around the edges of the dial at certain angles, but not too aggressive. Just the right amount. Probably the biggest surprise of the watch is the bracelet. It just feels really good on the wrist. These type of bracelets with all the different links can sometimes be hair pullers or just not move around softly, but this one definitely does. The next watch is one that became so popular, I had to jump on the bandwagon, the Addiesdive AD2030. Much like my San Martin watch, this Addiesdive was purchased purely out of curiosity. I definitely liked the design and wanted to get a slightly smaller watch at 36 millimeters, so it made sense to give it a try. It definitely is one of those watches on AliExpress that became a big hit. There's not much not to like about it other than the logo. The good news is, it's quite small in general, and at wrist level, you can't really make out the details, so it really shouldn't be a deal breaker. Hands down, my favorite part of this watch is the timekeeping. The Mecha Quartz movement has the sweeping hands of an automatic, but relies on quartz, so it is battery powered and really accurate. No exaggeration here, but I set the time when I got it many months ago, and it's only lost a few seconds. I wear a lot of different watches throughout the week, so it's really convenient not having to set the time or wind it. I don't know about you, but I get sometimes lazy with winding the watch, and that does affect its timekeeping. I don't have any complaints about this watch. Even on my 7-inch wrist, it looks great, classy, and not small at all. Of course, this is subjective, so let me know what you think. Is this watch too small for me? I'm a sucker for a minimalist field watch, and I always enjoy wearing my Tandorio's version. This is my only Tandorio watch, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last. Like the others we've looked at, it's a really great option, and a field watch is kind of a staple in any collection. The Flieger design is just a classic, timeless style. Simple, stylish, and goes well in any situation. The price on this was crazy, $42, Seiko NH35 movement, sapphire crystal, and a nice leather strap. For the price, I didn't expect such a nice clear dial, and the finishing on the case is impressive. Not just for the price. All the hour and minute markers have lume, and it looks super cool when it glows, but if there is one little complaint, it would be the lume. I don't really require it or prioritize lume, so not a big deal, but for any lume addicts, do keep that in mind. I almost got Baltani's pilot watch instead of Tandorio's, but I'm going to save that for their 1926 next, but we'll see. Any 1926 owners here? What's your experience been like? The next watch is definitely the most stylish and unique. It's the only watch I've ever owned with 2 crowns, one on both sides of the watch, and it's a really cool design. The Merkur World Time. I'll admit, I don't travel the world or ever need a second time zone watch, but do I even need 8 AliExpress watches either? This is one I couldn't resist getting. It has such a cool industrial look to it, I had to get it. The price is right, the details look good, and something very different from all the others. The dial is super busy, almost to the point where I'm not even sure what's going on or how to utilize the features, but that's okay. I chose this watch for its style, not functionality. At first, I was a bit apprehensive about the gray strap, but it plays. And even better, it's really soft and pliable out of the box, which I always appreciate. I love how straight the sides of the watch is. It gives it a bit of a vintage feel and just sits nicely on the wrist. Overall, this watch is a banger. If there's any that I would recommend the most, it probably would be this one. Something special about it, and it could be just the unique looks. The next 3 watches are my Pagani Designs, and the first one we'll look at is the Moonwatch Homage. I suspect a lot of people's first AliExpress watches are either San Martin or Pagani Design. I have 3 in total, and each for a different reason. The Moonwatch Homage I purchased to see if I liked the design. I've had my eyes on Omega's Speedmaster for many years, but was always on the fence because it's very one note, all black with a simple dial, and I have a lot of watches like that. So I purchased this Pagani to see what it was like wearing this style over an extended period of time. My conclusion is it's an awesome design and definitely enjoyable. It did though make me realize, as much as I want the Speedmaster, I would end up getting bored of it and didn't want to invest that kind of money in a watch that wasn't going to have a forever home. Pagani's version is well done. It's kind of tough to say anything bad about its design because it is kind of a one-to-one rendition. It uses a mecha quartz movement, so accuracy has been great, and it's always nice having a chrono in the collection. The second Pagani in my collection is the BB Chronograph. It's definitely a very robust and solid watch. It has a rivet-style bracelet, which is super cool. I usually wear this one on rubber or leather straps, so it's definitely a strap monster. It's definitely a bit wild how they could offer their watches at such low prices. I mean, that goes for all of these brands we've looked at today. I'd definitely say out of all the homages, this chrono is the least recognizable or even known. So I do like that factor that it goes a bit under the radar. Last up is my modified Submariner Pagani Design. This watch I purchased to mod. Take it apart, play around with different dials, bezels, etc. And ultimately just made 2 big changes to it. The bezel insert is totally different. It comes with the classic Submariner style, but this one is gray, ceramic, and really changes up the look nicely. And a second obvious change is the date window magnifier. I removed that as well. This dive watch is quite beefy in a good way. Unless you're a vegetarian and now I offended you and you clicked off the video. My bad. I've abused the heck out of this thing, using it for different projects, and it's taken the abuse like a champ. Solid bezel action, nice clasp and bracelet, all the Submariner looks you'd want, but well under $100. You really can't go wrong. I hope you enjoyed checking out my AliExpress collection. If I had to pick one just based off quality, it would be San Martin. And if I had to pick one based off style and design, it would be the Merker World Time. What do you think my next AliExpress watch should be? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.